What's up? I'm back. It's been a little bit. First thing I want to talk about is actually not bodybuilding. It's UFC 229, which happened this past Saturday on the 6th. It was a great fucking card, but I think everybody knows there's only one thing I'm going to talk about. So, Khabib and Conor and what happened after the fight. So, I stopped following Conor on all social media 2 weeks before that fight happened. Back when he started saying all this racist shit about Khabib, all the calling people terrorists, all this other shit, like shit talking me like, oh, someone he's got a fucking glass jaw and I'ma break him inside that cage. Stuff like that's good. Saying your manager is a terrorist who was involved with 9/11. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And then sitting there and talking shit about someone's entire country. It's like, it's insane that all of his little fanboys let him get away with it because he has an accent. But here's the simple fact of the matter. If you took, just say you took some British guy and had him fight an American, and the British guy was like, all Americans are fucking lazy and pieces of shit, yada yada. And then after the fight, two guys jumped into the cage and clocked that British dude. All those McGregor nut huggers would be like, he fucking deserved that piece of shit. So here's the big problem. I think Khabib did a great job in the post-fight interview. He didn't take any questions. He walked in, he goes alhamdulillah, praising his God, which that's awesome that you can be that religious, I guess. Praising his God, and then he immediately went into it, sitting there, and he apologized to the Nevada State Athletic Commission. He said the greatest line he said, he goes, I'm human. This is not a good side of me. I was upset, and I'm human. I'm sorry. But he made a great point. He goes, why everybody's talking about me jumping over the cage right now doesn't make any... He goes, I'm so confused. He was like, after all the shit Conor talked about my family, my country, my religion, he was like, it's insane to me. He goes, this guy literally took 20 goons and smashed and destroyed property, smashed a bus, injured two fighters, Michael Chiesa and Ray Borg, who they had to be pulled from that fight card, they were so injured, traumatized Rose Namajunas, who's a fighter on that bus. And literally, by the strictest definition, if you look up in the dictionary, Conor McGregor committed an act of terrorism doing that bus incident. An act of terrorism is an act of violence to instill fear into a large group of people. Conor McGregor committed an act of terrorism, plain and simple. And Khabib made a great point. He was like, he did this, and y'all are talking about me jumping over the cage trying to fight another professional fighter. Like, it's insane, the hypocrisy. The hypocrisy of all the people I see on Khabib's posts, on all these MMA websites posting, oh, what a piece of shit, he needs to be fucking stripped, yada yada. And it's like, dude, Conor McGregor has hurt fans before. When he had his little Monster can throwing incident with Nate Diaz, he threw a full can of Monster and hit a woman in the crowd in the head. She was a fan. She got hit in the head, and I think it busted her head open. He did that. He jumped out of the ring and tried to fight Jose Aldo before they ever fought. People forget about that shit. Conor McGregor jumped in the ring at a Bellator event, shoved a referee, and then slapped a member of the New York Commission. All these people talking about he needs to be stripped and saying, oh, Conor's a true champ, he never lost the belt. Dude, y'all are fucking crazy. And people saying Khabib needs to be suspended, he needs to be stripped, he needs to be banned. It's like, Conor has done so much worse shit, but he's gotten away with it because he's Conor. Here's the thing. You could see in the post-fight interview how upset Dana White was that his baby boy lost. And even he was being a fucking hypocrite. He was like, oh, he kept dodging the question everybody was saying is Khabib going to be stripped? And he kept dodging it. And in one interview, finally asked him, he goes, is there a 100% chance you're telling me that Khabib will not be stripped? And he goes, no. He goes, there's not a 100% chance. He goes, we gotta see what, he immediately threw everything on the Nevada State Athletic Commission. He was like, we gotta see what the Nevada State Athletic Commission is gonna do. But here's the thing, Dana White's not gonna let this slide because it's his baby boy, Conor. Because Conor got beat, he got fucking humiliated, he got dominated every second of that fight. I thought that was the funniest shit. Everybody was like, oh, Conor striking is so much better than Khabib. Khabib striking is shit. And Khabib dropped Conor. Like, no way. I didn't even see that coming. I thought he was just going to smash him. I didn't expect Khabib to throw an overhand right and drop Conor's ass. That was beautiful. Here's what I'm trying to say. I do not think in the least bit Khabib trying to fight Dylan Dennis is a big deal at all. A professional fighter was talking shit to another professional fighter after he just beat up his teammate, so he hops out of the ring and he tries to fight the professional fighter. Okay? He didn't hurt any fans, he didn't hurt anybody, he was trying to fight another professional fighter. That's it, plain and simple. Now, Khabib's brother and the two other guys that jumped into the cage and attacked Conor. So I'll start with this first. They were both arrested. Conor didn't press charges. They were both let go. Dana White said, because two of them were UFC fighters, Dana White said they're both cut from the UFC and they'll fight in the UFC again. I agree. 100%. Do that. But, and this goes with a lot of things that are going on in the US right now. With freedom of speech. Yes, you have a freedom of speech. You can say whatever in the world you want. But how people respond to your speech is unpredictable and will not follow the Constitution. Conor took it way too far. He took it too far with religion. He took it too far with racism. He took it too far with family. He got what he deserved. If you break it down, that's one of the main reasons I stopped following Conor is talking shit is one thing. Like, everybody loves, who the fuck is that guy? Everybody loves that shit because it's funny. But sitting there and calling people terrorists, sitting there and saying an entire nation is disgusting, sitting there and bashing an entire religion, you can't fucking do that. Like, it's not that you can't do that. Let me rephrase. You can do that, but people are not going to respond well to that. Plain and simple. People are going to fuck you up. Like when if you walk around in the US and you see somebody slapping their chest, throwing out a Nazi salute and yelling Sig Heil, I'd knock you the fuck out for that shit. Plain and simple. Like, that's fucked up. I do not agree with that shit. At the end of the day, those guys that fought for the UFC that attacked Conor, yes, they need to be banned. Yes, all that. Do I feel in the least bit bad for Conor? No, I fucking don't. He talked all that shit. He got retaliated against. He got what he deserved. He attacked a bus full of innocent people with 30 fucking goons. He injured two fighters, and if that dolly had been a little bit more to the right, it would have gone straight through that window and killed Michael Chiesa. Conor McGregor is a piece of shit, plain and simple. He takes it too far. He's too in his head. He's too much of an egomaniac. Khabib, he definitely should have taken the higher road, and he should not have tried to fight Dylan. He shouldn't have tried to do that shit. But it doesn't surprise me in the least bit, and it doesn't bother me in the least bit. These dudes have said some fucked up shit about Khabib's country, his family, and his religion. He's gonna retaliate, plain and simple. He's fucking game as fuck. And all those people saying, oh, the fighters that... I saw a couple people saying Khabib's a pussy, but all the people saying Khabib's friends that jumped in and fought Conor are pussies. The one that hit him from behind, yeah, but the other two came to his front. Probably don't attack at the same time, but I'll give you those. Those three, yes. How the fuck do you say Khabib's a pussy, though? Khabib jumped out of the ring after he had just fought for 20-ish minutes and tries to fight Conor's whole team by himself. Like, that's the most gangster shit ever. Like, all those people, all of Conor's team were like, oh, they're not about that life. They're not about that real fight in life. Khabib kind of proved that shit to you that he is. To sum this up, you gotta watch. I talk a lot of shit. But there's certain things I won't touch. I won't touch people's families. I won't touch people's religion. And I won't touch people's race or their nationalism, because that's fucked up. It's just you're a racist piece of shit if you start talking like that. You gotta watch what you say, because if you don't, people are gonna retaliate. That is why this happened. This was a retaliation for what Conor has been doing, for what Conor has been saying. It is a complete and utter retaliation. I'm not surprised in the least bit that it happened. Not at all. And for all the people, first off, I want to point this out. There were a bunch of videos of like fans fighting in the crowd and in the entranceway in the arena and in the casino and shit like that. That's not on what Khabib did. That's just because you had Conor's fanboys are fucking retarded. They're stupid as shit, and they're Russians who take extreme offense and Russians are proud people, and they took extreme offense to everything Conor said, and so his fanboys probably start running their mouth because they see what Conor's doing and what Trump's doing and think you can get away with saying whatever the fuck you want, no one's going to do anything to you, and so they wound up getting their ass kicked. But yeah, so I mean, all I gotta say is props to Khabib. He dominated Conor every second of that fight. That's how I assumed that fight was going to go. I gave Conor the benefit of the doubt and thought he might hurt Khabib. Didn't at all. Didn't even face Khabib. And that really honestly didn't surprise me that much. But what Khabib showed is what I've been saying, is that I don't think Conor McGregor's even... He has trouble with anybody in the top 5 in the UFC in lightweight. I think he has extreme... I think he loses to Kevin Lee. I think... I think he loses to Edson Barboza. I think at 55 he loses to Nate Diaz. And then Tony Ferguson. I don't know. Tony Ferguson eats too many shots. Like, Khabib did a good job of dodging a lot of Conor shots, and he's got a really strong chin. Tony, that's tough. I don't know. Him and Tony, I don't know. I think Pettis beats Conor. I think a lot of people beat Conor. I think James Vick fucks Conor up. 50, like, he fought a bunch of people that he was killing himself to get to 45, and he fought a bunch of people a lot smaller than him, and those are all the people Conor murked. And then he fought Eddie Alvarez, who Eddie was super rattled from all the shit talking, for all the publicity, all that shit, and Eddie didn't even look like Eddie that fight. So if they ran it back, I think that would probably go the same way. Eddie's a little punchy. Eddie's been knocked out before, and so I get that. But all these people, all I gotta say is, like, this just shows you all those fanboys don't know what the fuck they're talking about. If they just follow Conor McGregor on Instagram and only watch his fights, they don't know fucking shit about MMA. So that's why you cannot listen to these people, because they were all completely wrong. And everybody who has watched Khabib fight saw that and were like, yeah, that's what he does to everybody. So, but yeah, that's my opinion. Great fight on Khabib. I think it's awesome. I hope to God they don't strip him. He's going to get fined no matter what by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. I hope they don't strip him though, and I hope he gets to see him fight again. So, I'll see you guys next time.